start your career, you're going a million miles an hour, you sort of lose perspective on things. But now we have stopped and slowed down, and I don't know, our friendship is stronger, closer than ever, and just punch each other and be like, dude, this is sick. We get to go to the CMAs, and we don't have to sneak in the back door anymore.
Thank you guys for coming by the Variety Lounge. We're so glad to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having us, man. This place is unbelievable. Whoever decorated it, I need them to come by and decorate my house.
Yeah,
Couch is cozy.
It's nice. This is a nice vibe. I feel very cozy. I feel at home.
Amazing.
I'm squatting here after everyone leaves, so
Perfect.
Don't anybody look at me.
We'll join you.
The CMAs are like, is it like going to the grocery store for you? You go every year. You probably haven't missed one in 10 years or something, right?
No, we've been doing a lot of CMA Awards at this point, but man, honestly, I feel like at this point in our career, a little over a decade into it, we have a new perspective on everything. I feel like the combination of COVID happening in 2020 and everything, all the highs and lows that we've been through, that we've talked about at length, throughout the Bigger Houses album cycle, has kind of allowed us to have a newfound appreciation for everything, newfound gratitude. And when we get to go to these things, it's no longer, oh, we have to go do this, or we got to wake up early and fly here. So we get to do these things. Somebody wants us to come be a part of an amazing country music award show. There are a lot of people out there, a lot of duos, a lot of groups, a lot of folks who would do anything. And we were those guys, a little over 10 years ago, who would have done anything to be in that category, to be nominated. So to get the invite, man, every time those nominations come out in the morning, bright and early, we're jumping up and down. Like I said, I think even more so now than 5-6 years ago. You start your career, you're going a million miles an hour, you sort of lose perspective on things. But now we have stopped and slowed down, and I don't know, our friendship is stronger, closer than ever, and just punch each other and be like, dude, this is sick. We get to go to the CMAs, and we don't have to sneak in the back door anymore.
The recent activity you guys have been doing, and you're not dressed to promote the occasion, but you've continued to do Christmas music. And so I'm sure any moment now, the red and green suits will come out. But that's what you've kind of been known for the last couple of years. Last year with a full double album, and this year just a couple follow-up tracks. So you're still in your Christmas era. And I use that word deliberately since you did a Taylor Swift cover.
Perfect. He's good.
It is, I feel like right after Halloween, for me a little bit even earlier, I get full Christmas mode. People were making fun of me because I put my tree up like on Halloween. That was like our family activity. And these are actually zip suits. The green and red suits are actually underneath these. We wear them at all time.
Is it the tearaway?
This is the tearaway, yeah. We'll save it for the later.
7th grade basketball.
Yeah. No, man, it's been so much fun. I feel like, this time of year, I feel like the CMAs is a good kickoff to kind of the Christmas season. There's always an argument of like how early is too early to celebrate Christmas. And there's such a finite window that people usually would say like, early December or wherever it is. I'm trying to broaden that a little bit. I feel like it's my favorite holiday. So why would we not make it a little longer? That's why I keep my tree up till about March or April.
Absolutely.
One of the many reasons. But man, it's been so much fun. I think the first song that we ever recorded was "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," and that kind of started the desire for our fans to want us to have a Christmas album. They would always ask every year, "When are you guys doing a Christmas album?" We're like, "Oh, it's coming soon. We're trying." And it's really tough when you start your career and you put out music. You have your whole life to write that first album. But once that comes out, you're on tour, and like everything in between that is very hard to write new music, and even just original songs that you're putting out, not Christmas music. So to put in a holiday album in there is very difficult. So when we finally had the time to do that, Dan somehow found the time to produce 21 songs for a double Christmas album, and we're just so proud of it. I feel like it's been a long time in the coming, and I feel like 21 songs is maybe a good payoff for people waiting for so long. We kind of had to do the double album, make sure we put out a lot of songs out there, but it's been the most fun, man. We're having a blast being able to do that, and hopefully that will be a part of people's traditions for the rest of their lives, listening to our Christmas album. Yeah. And hopefully it's very early, maybe November 1st.
Yeah, I love that you did half and half original songs and half covers, because I'm always looking for the original Christmas songs, but I know the traditional audience maybe wants something in there that's a tune they can already hum. So to split the difference and do them each at full length was a great idea.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you listening to it. It is tough to come up with new original Christmas material. I feel like all the good Christmas ideas have already been said. Mariah said them all, Bing Crosby, all these classics. It's tough to come up with something original, but we're doing our best. And Take Me Home for Christmas, we just celebrated the 5-year anniversary of that song. That was our first original Christmas song, and it kind of tipped the domino for the rest of them. We started rolling, and like Shay was saying on that album, we weren't planning on doing a double album. We got in there, we had a few months to knock it out, and we were like, let's keep going. And it was like magical days. We decorated the studio. That's always a tough thing about making Christmas music is you're recording it in June or July. It's 100 degrees out in Nashville, 100% humidity, and somebody's got to, shout out to my friend Madison in the room right now, somebody's got to bring a tree in and light the candles and make it feel like Christmas. But yeah, we've got a great team that helps us out on that.
Yeah. Well, there's that album from last year, double album from last year, which some people, of course, will be discovering for the first time this year, and some people will just be dragging out from the CD rack if people still have those. But then you've got 2 new songs, one of which I alluded to earlier, Back to December. Technically not a Christmas song, but basically any song that mentions December or cold weather counts as a Christmas song eventually. So glad you brought that out for us. And I'm a big fan of that song, so I was playing that over and over again in the car and love your version of it. And so what made you think that was either, if you were thinking of it as a Christmas song? I mean, maybe you weren't, but...
It kind of happened, honestly, by accident. We were at a sound check in Boston, and as Dan and I do, when there's a piano in the room, we can't help but jump over there and sing something. And we were just talking about, I mean, Taylor was about to put out her album, and we were just talking about how much we love Taylor Swift. We're big Swifties, as I think everybody is. And we were just talking about that being one of our favorite songs, and never quite got its moment. I know that all the Swifties know that song. It's a big song, but it never quite got its moment. And we were just kind of talking about that, and Dan sat down on the piano and started playing it, and, and it was we just sang it, and it just, his wife was there and she kind of captured it, and that kind of organically turned into what it was, and which it ended up being the fastest turnaround on a song we've ever had. I think we recorded that within a couple of days and had it out like 5 days later, and it was just a very quick turnaround because our fans were like, where's the full version? And we're like, well, we weren't planning on doing this at all, but we had some time at home. We're like, guess we'll head over to the studio and do it. So that kind of organically happened, and it's been awesome, man. Our fans have absolutely loved it, and it's Swiftie approved, it's scary when you're doing a Taylor song. You never know if it's going to be like, they revolt against you because you tried, but thankfully they said we do it justice, so thank God for that. But yeah, man, and we have Long Live Christmas that we put out this year. That was planned, and we were excited to put that song out. It was really cool for that to kind of happen organically, so we could kind of give our fans more music. I think that's always better. So it's been a really fun process. We just put out a music video for that song, and that was a lot of fun to put together. So it's fun, man. We're in the holiday spirit.
Haven't seen the video yet. What did you do in the video? Did you have to drag out some decorations from the basement, or?
Dan and Shay saved Christmas. It was an awesome. We had a blast doing it. Louis Cater directed it, and it was kind of just a fun treatment. There was a town mayor, a local cute, quaint, straight out of a Hallmark movie. He was canceling Christmas. All the lights needed to come down. Everybody needed to put their sweaters away. He was officially canceling Christmas at a town hall meeting. All the local townsfolk were like, we know one group who could save Christmas. It's our only hope. And people were like, we kind of poked fun at our absence from social media this year, which we just literally forgot to post on social media. We've been in the studio all year. It's tough to keep up with, by the way. They were like, where's Dan and Shay? Do those guys even do music anymore? And somebody was like, I think they opened a pub. And then the crew runs down, come banging in the doors. We're in there. Shay's cleaning a glass. I don't know what I'm doing behind the bar, and
looking handsome.
Everybody ran in looking handsome.
Yeah,
hey,
that's
thanks,
what you're
dude.
doing.
Come on.
Just checking her out.
And yeah, I guess we saved Christmas. We turned that Scrooge's frown upside down, and It was awesome, man. It was a lot of fun. And anytime you get to do a Christmas video like that, just gets you in the spirit. We got to sample a Guinness. It was at a local Irish pub here in Nashville. Big Guinness fans, and it's tough to find a good one outside of Ireland. So. And
Santa was there.
Shout out to the Lost Patty. The Lost Patty is where we shot it. Santa was there.
Spot.
It was amazing.
Now, you just mentioned you forgot to do social media this year, and that's most of us don't suffer that kind of amnesia. So, does that mean you actually were too busy, or that you're just like sensible people who have better priorities?
Hey, thank you for saying that. I'll take responsibility. I'm just the crazy psycho who's always been running our social media. I feel like when I was younger, Facebook, Twitter, I'm really aging myself, Zanga, LiveJournal, MySpace. I feel like I was better. I was more tapped in. There's so many platforms now. It's a young man's ballgame. TikTok, everything is just such a different landscape. And we try to keep up with it the best we can. But I feel like we're in this creative space. We got off tour last year. We did 2 tours, and then we put out 2 Christmas albums. It was a crazy year. Top of the year, Shay had a baby. And we were just like, cool. next thing we do, we're going to get back in the studio, write a bunch of songs. And in that process, we got like this amazing creative flow. We were just writing every day, recording these demos, being excited about them. And like, I looked up and it was Halloween. And I was like, dude, we haven't posted on social media like since last Christmas, since we were making these crazy Christmas videos. And I feel like there was a lot of speculation that we may have broken up maybe after the Bigger Houses stuff. But Shay and I, I'll go on record right now and say we're closer than we've ever been. We're having more fun doing this than we've ever been. And like I said earlier, we're just in this gratitude phase of our life, maybe kicked off by the Bigger Houses album and that era. I know we keep shout out Taylor Swift, but it's true, man. We're so lucky to get to do this. We're blessed, and every day is a gift. We try to enjoy it, everything we get to do, every show we get to play, every fan we get to meet. The fact that there are folks willing to show up, and I mean, look at this. This is a full production here that we get to talk to you guys, and an amazing media outlet. And man, I can't say it enough. We're just happy to do this, and so much so that I forgot to post on social media. But yeah, we were living our life. I mean, we've got families now, and I feel like there's an interesting mental balance that you got to take on. It's like, how much of my life do I want to live online and share? We're always open and transparent with our fans, but I feel like it's been really healthy for us to detach from the screen time a little bit. Sometimes when I get a notification on my phone that the screen time has gone down from the prior week, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it right. I'm doing it right. So yeah, man, just trying to live in the real world a little bit more. And I feel like get better inspiration for songs like that. We stay in our own lane and stay inspired. So yeah, man, I apologize to everybody who was out there expecting us to be posting more on socials. We're going to pick it back up. We're trying our best.
Okay. And Shay, how has fatherhood been for you this year? I don't know how big your family is, but
it's been amazing, man. We just had our fourth boy, all boys. We got 8, 5, 2, and about 10 months now, and it's amazing, man. I feel like when you start to have a family and you start to get older, and you've got the people around you that are really supporting you. I think it even changes the way that you view music, and even like older songs of yours that you're revisiting and be like, man, that song hits a little bit different, now. And it's just opened up a world.
Crazy.
Tequila goes nuts, It's a song about family, And it's been amazing, man. I'm having so much fun and learning, every single day. I think, people always ask me to give like advice, fatherly advice about like, what would you tell a new dad? I'm like, I wouldn't tell him anything. He's going to have to make his own mistakes, because that's how you learn. I think that's that's the best part about being a dad, is that you learn as you go, and you have patience. And thankfully my wife is very patient with me, and we've grown together, and it's just a blast, man. And I get to have fun with this amazing group of people that are not just my family, but like the family I get to choose, and it's just amazing. Like Dan said earlier, we're so grateful for all that we get to do, man. This is, music is such a massive part of my life, and now have my extended family be in that music business. It's just incredible. And I feel like the two have melded together. We get to do this life together, and it's just an incredible blessing to be able to do that. And yeah, man, learning every day.
Well, comparing notes now, because we've had a couple people through here who had babies in the last year, and I think it was Jordan Davis who said the fourth was the hardest. So how are you experiencing that?
Oh man, I don't know. I think the hardest there's 3-year age gap between the first three, and there's only a 2-year age gap between our last and our toddler. He's 2 years old, and that phase is a real adventure. He just learned how to crawl out of his crib. So he'll just pop up in the middle of the night every once in a while. So that's a lot of fun. But it's amazing, man. To me, the first is the hardest, because you have no idea what you're doing. Everything is panic. You're like, you're just trying to keep this kid alive. It's like every night you're waking up in a cold sweat. Like, did I do something wrong? And by the fourth, it's funny to look at the difference where, you see your toddler jumping off the couch and you're like, yeah, he's fine. And so it's a lot more lax when you have 4 kids. Nothing's that big of a deal. And I think, to me, the fourth is the easiest, because I actually know what I'm doing. So it's, I don't know. I don't know what Jordan's doing. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You could field the basketball team at this point.
We absolutely could.
Starting lineup.
Yeah, it is. But every kid is also so different. So I think that, like, to have one answer, every kid is so different that he might be having a hard time. But there's seasons to this, and it gets better. So if Jordan's having a hard time, I can come over there. I'll text him. He might need
we'll try to make a connection.
Some babysitting, some babysitting help. I'm there for him.
And I think you guys were kind of off the road mostly, and I think one or both of you might have said that was sort of the first time since about 2013 that you've given yourselves a substantial break there. So yeah,
it was kind of a shock to be off the road. Like we were saying, it's been since 2013. We've been hitting it hard. We started out, we were doing, I feel like we exaggerate the number. We were doing like 394 shows a year.
420 shows?
It was 450 shows a year. It was crazy. No, I mean, seriously, we were doing 150 shows a year, and it was just nonstop. We were out there grinding. We were opening for anybody we could. We were headlining on the days in between, and we were doing promo on the other days that we had off. You know, it was just constant grind, and we're grateful for that season of our lives. I feel like it's a big part of the reason why we've been able to accomplish what we've been able to accomplish. But it was nice to take a step back, and I feel like taking inventory and make you miss it a little bit, like make you look at what we've been able to accomplish, look back on the last year of tour. Because when you're going with records or with touring, sometimes you miss a lot of great moments. And self-admittedly, I feel like I've missed a lot of great moments throughout our career because you're just looking forward to the next one. And we've had artists give us that advice on the way up, and I feel like we've given that advice to other artists. And you know, it's just the nature of the beast. You're always looking forward to what's next. But taking that year off, really taking inventory of everything, I feel like it really made us appreciate every opportunity that we did get to go out and do, whether it be surprising somebody at a wedding. We played at a college not long ago, and we're gearing up for a big 2026 with a lot of touring plans. And I'm like, we get to play in New York. This is sick. We get to play in Denver. We get to play in Salt Lake, all these cool places. And I feel like that break was really healthy for us, probably for our crew too, you know, to reset and just appreciate it a little bit more. But yeah, it was a bit of a shock. It's like, well, we literally don't have a show on the books, and you go on our website, danandshay.com/tour, no dates. It's like, are these guys alive? What's the vibe? But yeah, we're alive and well, and looking forward to getting back out. We miss our fans. They're so good to us, and they've always been loyal and patient with us. So we appreciate them being patient this year while we've been chilling.
Yeah, and for anybody who, among your fans who's very eager to get the next Save Me the Trouble or whatever might follow in its wake, it sounds like you have been in the studio at least a little bit this year, and so that's part of the plan for 2026 is to let people hear some of that. I don't know how close you are to done.
Absolutely, man. Dan and I, like you said, that's one of the reasons that we were kind of absent from social media, because we were in the studio. And to us, it felt like we're having the busiest year ever, you know, in the studio every day. And I know that, like, you know, people don't get to see that. But I feel like it's such an amazing thing, you know, for Dan and I to actually have the time to be in the studio and taking our time of making what we want to make, you know, things that we love, things that we know our fans are going to love, and trying to just, you know, write the most Dan and Shay music that we possibly can, be completely our authentic selves. And it's just been a lot of fun to be able to kind of explore that and do things that just we love. And we've written so many songs, and we're going to write a million songs from now until, you know, when new music comes out. I'm sure we'll be here we'll probably be there on Christmas writing a song.
I see a guitar back there.
Yeah, we might do it right after this. But lots of new music coming next year. I mean, and that's what we're most excited about. I think, you know, all of these other things, we love doing Christmas music, and we love like being able to do something when everyone else usually kind of cuts off their year around Christmas time. We love being able to kind of hop into that mode. But at the core of it, the thing that Dan and I love the most is creating music together. And not that we don't love doing Christmas music as well, but it's a completely separate thing, you know. And being able to kind of do this of what we did when we very first met was writing songs and kind of just having that connection with our fans. That's what we're most looking forward to is putting that out and getting back out on the road. And our fans can expect a lot of that next year. And hopefully, I think more music than we've ever put out, and maybe do it a little bit differently. And I don't know, we're still kind of figuring it all out, but we're writing a lot. And so I know at some point, hopefully very, very soon, we'll be putting some of that stuff out.
I got to surrender the mixes at some point. I hold them hostage.
They're in his pocket right now.
Yeah.
I can check it out. For a price, I'll go share you.
Okay. All right, we'll look forward to that. But then looking forward to the CMA night. Is there anything that you're anticipating, even if it's just friends you want to catch up with? Because I know when you're kind of holed away, you're not out there hobnobbing with all these folks who are going to be there tomorrow night. So, or maybe there's something you've heard about that you just that you know is going to happen that you're excited about. What's your night going to be like, other than, you know, that anticipation over whether you're going to win?
Man, I know people say it sounds cliche, but country music really is such a family. And getting to be back in that room with everybody that we are grateful to call family, all the artists, all the writers, everybody in the industry, all the fans, is special. You know, you would think a lot of us live in Nashville. It's like, oh, they probably kick it all the time. They see each other, but we really don't. You know, these award shows and these moments, you know, whether it be a festival or whatever, is like kind of the only time we get to see each other. We catch up. It's quick, but, you know, it's always meaningful and impactful. And just to get to see everybody back there, get to give some hugs is awesome. But I'm really looking forward to the new artist class in country music right now. Is just incredible. Even, outside of the nominees, there's so many new artists out there just doing things their own way. And I feel like that's rejuvenated us, re-inspired us, just watching some of these artists, feeling how authentic their songwriting is, how they're delivering their music to the world. It's just really cool. That evolution, seeing all these artists, has inspired us in the songwriting room, and we're just fans, man. To get to go to that show, like I said, seeing our family is amazing, but to sit in those seats, I think they even gave us free seats, which is pretty cool. That's the cool part about being a nominee, getting in there for free and getting to watch all the performances is amazing. We're proud of Lainey, man. We saw Lainey grinding it. She moved to town around the same time as we did. She's freaking hosting the CMAs by herself. That's unbelievable. For her to do that, what an accomplishment, and she earned every bit of it. She grinded when she got here, and she's still grinding, and it couldn't happen to a better person. She's just such a talent, and got a great heart, and we wish her all the success. So she's going to be great at hosting it. It's going to be awesome.
She's going to kill it, man. And I agree with what you said. Last night we were at the ASCAP Awards, and something that Ashley Gorley did really hit me. It was really a special moment. He took the time. He won Songwriter of the Year, and he took the time to name every single first-time nominee of the ASCAP Awards, and it was just all these songwriters. And I think it's really easy when you've been doing it for so long that these things can become a little bit. You don't want to say mundane, but when you've been 13 times, it's not as shiny and new as it used to be. And I remember being that kid, going to the BMIs and the ASCAPs and the CMA Awards for the very first time and just being like, oh my gosh, that's this person, that's this writer that wrote my favorite song. And it was just such a special time, and I feel like we've really been able to get back to that by seeing the twinkle in those new artists and the new writers' eyes, where it's like, man, this is amazing. We should take the time to realize how cool this is. And I'm excited to kind of see some of that at the CMA Awards, and to be able to see some of those new artists that are looking around and making sure that, they're soaking it in. And if there was any advice that I would give, any new artist, was take a second to just realize how cool that this all is. It's very easy to be, cynical when you've been in the music industry for so long. But this is an amazing thing that we all get to do. To be able to do music every day for a living is an incredible blessing. And I'm excited to see that, at the CMAs, and to watch that go on, because it is inspiring when you see someone else kind of having that moment of this is crazy. That's one of the funnest things that we get to do now, as people have been doing it for 12 years. Is we used to be those guys, and I feel like it's always nice to remember and to kind of put yourself back in that space, that this is pretty incredible that we all get to do this.
Yeah. Well, country music is sort of cycling through new artists faster than it used to, it seems like, given by some of the people who are nominees this year. But I think people also look and they want to see those anchor tenants, so to speak, that you represent. And so there's whether people are excited about the new people, or whether they're like, who are all these freshmen? I don't know about. They're excited to see Dan and Shay in there every year.
Yeah, that means a lot. Thank you.
So congratulations for being in there again, and look forward to hearing what you got coming up in 2026. Sounds like it's a lot.
Man, we really appreciate the time. Always so thoughtful, so kind to us, and it means the world. Shout out to the fans for always having our backs and allowing us to live our dream. We couldn't do it without you, so we appreciate you.